A true tale for you then, my friends. As some of you may be aware, in recent years Stirling Council has spent nearly £2 million in renovating our old graveyard. And while I'm largely critical of what they claim to have done, I have to give credit where it's due. And one thing they have done for the benefit of all and sundry was trim back decades of long neglected bush and briar. The tale I'll tell you now concerns that in a roundabout way. It began on a night not entirely unlike this. A bitter, cold February eve in 2002. I'd been called upon to tell tall tales to an assemblage of businessmen feasting within the great hall at Stirling Castle. And like many such exercises in corporate self-congratulation, it dragged on well into the night. Finally, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I told my final tale, made my excuses and cut down the icy steps from the esplanade to the darkened pathways of this graveyard. Now, my friends, I'm no whistler in the dark. This place holds no terrors for me, I know it too well. But on such a foul night as that, the storm clouds hung dark back and pendulous like big black pendulous things in the skies above, as the winter wind howled around us. Even I was disconcerted, particularly as I approached this lonely spot here. And so, standing just where you are now, my dear, amid the bushes and branches which once crowded this spot, a figure as still and silent as death itself. I told myself I was being foolish. Why should I, of all people, a phantom, bear fear? If I had a good reason to be in this lonely spot at such an ungodly hour, then so might he. And being a kind-hearted soul at heart, as I approached, I doffed my cap. I said, "Good evening to you, sir." In reply, he looked me in the eye and said, "Jesus Christ, mister!" and ran away. Now, I thought this was rather peculiar behaviour and considered for a moment pursuing him to tell him he had nothing to fear, until I realised that being chased through a Gothic graveyard at 2 o'clock on a dark and stormy winter's night by the ghost of the borough executioner was possibly not the thing most likely to settle his nerves. And as I considered these thoughts, I noticed that on his hasty departure, he dropped something. You've got a dirty mind, dear. Lots of little somethings, I should say. Lots of little clear plastic bags containing peculiar pills and powders. Suddenly there was no mystery at all as to why the stranger should lurk in the shadows. I did my duty. I gathered up the offending articles. I conveyed them to the local constable, and my duty done, I thought no more of the matter. Months passed. Then one summer's night, quite unlike this one, I was wandering through the graveyard and chanced upon the same policeman. When he saw me here, he laughed and he joked. It was a funny thing, he said. For all this graveyard is the only part of Stirling's old town where you will find no cameras watching the population 24 hours a day. The local drug dealers now refused point blank to do their foul trade within the graveyard gates. For some strange reason, word had spread the place was haunted. I can't imagine why.
Oh my God.
Sorry.